Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to check out the brand new Redmi Note 17 series. We have the Note 17, the Note 17 Pro, and the Note 17 Pro Max. And although all of them have basically large batteries, like even the Note 17 starts off at 7700 milliampere, the Note 17 Pro Max is a 10,000 milliampere power bank. And of course, coupled with some great experiences, but at a great price point, great bang for the buck experience through and through. So without further ado, let's check out the brand new Note 17 series, see which one fits you best, and of course, talk about their great features. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. What I have in front of us is obviously the Note 17, 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max. The 17, right out of the box, you can pretty much tell it has a 7700 milliampere battery, and that's the smallest size battery. We go to 8340 milliamperes here, and we go up to a 10,000 milliampere here on the 17 Pro Max. A few different configurations as far as processors. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But the ability of getting up to basically 12 gigs of RAM with 256 gigs on the Pro Max, and as you can see here, up to 12 gigs with 256 on the standard Pro, as well as the base model. And here we have them, the Pro Max, the Pro, and the standard edition Note 17. One thing to keep in mind, there's 4 different colors between the Pro and as well as the standard one. So there's 4 colors for the standard, 4 colors for the Pro, and when it comes down to the Pro Max, there's basically 3 colors that we get in there. And of course, the main thing that I'll probably say overall is the experience gets upgraded as you get higher in the lineup. But all 3 of them are going to be very friendly as far as the budget, but of course very focused on giving you that great bang for the buck. Every one of them comes with a case, so obviously it'll be a monochrome case. Redmi, there is no charger in the box. There's basically the charging cable as well as a case, and again, each one of them does include a case in the box. The camera stacks, or the experiences that we're getting here across the board, kind of gets upgraded as we go forward in here. We talked about the batteries again, and all 3 of them, by the way, support reverse wireless wire charging. There is no wireless. So even though we have that 10,000 milliampere here, you can definitely see very nice. Let's go ahead and get this thing to focus. It's a nice, thin, very well built device. Obviously, volume rocker power button, obviously top mounted speaker here. We're looking at basically a clean experience, very nice. This has a 10,000 milliampere battery, so this is literally a power bank that you can use. And if you don't use it as a power bank, it's an easy 2-day smartphone, which really is absolutely fantastic. For the form factor, for the display, for the 120 Hz refresh rate, in-display fingerprint sensor, experiences that we're getting here, global edition, this is going to absolutely last you for a long time. But when we talk about the cameras and the way our experiences are going here, basically if we start off with the 17 Pro or the 17, we have a 50 megapixel single shooter in the back, basically a dual tone LED flash. When we go into the Pro model, we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide that marries to that 50 megapixel. So we're getting 50 single camera. Here we have the 50 main and an 8 ultra wide. And when we go obviously to the Pro Max, we have the 50 main with the 8 ultra wide. So you're getting a similar experience here, although the processor changes going in from the Pro to the Pro Max. The front-facing cameras on here does actually also change a little bit. The standard and the Pro do come in with a 16 megapixel front-facing camera, where the Pro Max goes up to a 32 megapixel camera. So definitely an updated optics experience here on the front. One thing you probably noticed here when I was showing you guys the top part of the actual device, you notice that both the Pro and the Pro Max both include a top-mounted speaker. And that's because the standard model is a single firing mono speaker, so one firing speaker, where the Pro and the Pro Max are stereo speakers. So that's something to keep in mind if that's something that you enjoy, like watching content, playing games. And it's not like it's an issue, it's just more so of a preference, depending on the design. And again, as you can see here, it changes quite a bit from the Pro to the Pro Max. All 3 of them are running HyperOS 3.0, although there's a few cosmetic differences, I'll probably say overall. If you swipe down from the notification panel here, let's swipe up to the toggles, you'll notice that on the Redmi here, on the standard Redmi Note 17, it's a little bit more of the older style of modeling here as far as the toggles, and you're still able to access everything, and it is running again HyperOS 3.0. So it's a bit customized to maybe fit into the processor that we have in here. Again, first and foremost, this has, as I mentioned to you guys, 256 gigs across the board. There are different storage configuration RAM, so just to keep that in mind. And of course, when it comes down to the detailed specifications, let's go and swipe down here. We'll go down here, and we'll go here. This is where it changes slightly between the two. So the standard Note 17 starts off with the Snapdragon 4 Gen 4. That's going to be the base model. The Snapdragon 6S Gen 4 is going to be for the mid model, for the Pro, and the Snapdragon 6 Gen 5 is going to be for the Pro Max. And that's going to actually mirror over as we start looking at obviously the Geekbench scores. And that's one of the things obviously you could see here. We can go for 819 to 1410 on this, obviously here with the standard Note 17, to 977 to 2868, to up to 10 here, 1043 to 3215. So the performance definitely improves quite a bit as you go up the lineup of the devices. But the performance is tailored to fit what you're getting with the device. Although I will mention that even though technically they're roughly very similar in size, the Note 17 has a 6.99 Full HD Plus display, where the Note 17 Pro Max and the Note 17, the 17 Pro and the 17 Pro Max both are featuring a 1.5K display at 120 Hz refresh rate. So high refresh rate across the board, but you're definitely getting a more higher quality display based on here. And these, for the most part, are almost identical to size when you put them next to each other. You could see that basically the dimensions look very similar. And then last thing, of course, we want to keep in mind is we talked about the size of the batteries. The charging power also kind of goes up. On the standard 17 here, we talked about the 7700 milliampere battery. 45 watts is going to be basically the maximum charging speed, and of course 22.5 watt output. That's going to be the charging capability reverse. When you go into the Pro, we're jumping up a little bit higher there, and then we're going up to, obviously, on the 340 milliampere. We're looking at 67 watts wired and 22.5 reversed, which is really nice. On the Pro Max, we're getting 100 hypercharge, obviously, so to support that massive battery, and 27 watt reverse wire charge, which means this gives you the fastest charging and discharging and the largest battery and the best experience. We talked about the software experience. Again, Google Feed on the left side here. You get actually the entire experience the way you want it. One thing to mention, let's get this thing up here. You can definitely see I am connected on T-Mobile in the LA area, and I am picking up 5G. I did this quick speed test outside of my house, and you can see here I did not have full bars on here, but I was still able to clock in 150 down and about almost 3 up. Your experience may change, but it should actually operate quite nicely in the US. And again, I'm picking up 5G on T-Mobile at least. Now, one thing I will mention before we start talking about the cameras here on the Pro Max is that 1080p is going to be the best resolution we're able to get on both of these devices, the standard and the Pro. The Pro Max does give us the ability of jumping into 4K, so 4K 30 frames per second on the back and 4K 30 frames per second on the front. Again, that upgraded 32 megapixel camera here, where it's two 16 megapixels on the front. Obviously, we have photo, pro mode, portrait mode, document mode, and of course, under more, we have the ability of customizing like dual video, HD, Ultra HD. Also, one of the things I really like about here is when we go into the gallery, let's go ahead and go into the image. We also have Xiaomi's AI functionalities to be able to customize and edit. So we have AI beauty. We have, obviously, if we jump into the create section here, we have the eraser, expand, sky, bokeh, cutout. And then you're able to customize even more experiences here using Gemini, and you can definitely use circle to search. You can swipe it up, pressing and holding the power button gives you access to obviously the assistant right there. You can swipe up from the corner, getting the same experience. Xiaomi does give us a little bit of a list in here directly within their system in here under Xiaomi Hyper AI, explaining to us all of the different functionalities between Gemini, the dynamic wallpaper, AI writing, AI obviously creativity assistant, speech recognition, translate, interpreter, as well as AI subtitles. A lot of functional options, again, software, widgets, customizations, again, gestures, as you can see here, all the nice customization. And of course, since this is a global edition, we do have the Google Play Store right out of the box. Let's not waste any time. Let's go outside real quick and do a quick front-facing and rear-facing camera sample from the 17 Pro Max. We're going to do a front-facing camera experience here. Surprisingly, we actually have 4K 30 frames per second resolution here. Sun's a little bit to my left, so I hope the exposure is coming out pretty decent. But this is, again, what you should expect with the brand new Redmi. At the higher end, obviously, this is going to be the best experience you can expect. 4K 30 on the main sensor on the front, and then 4K 30 on the main sensors on the back. Switching it over now to the main sensor on the back, 4K 30 is going to be the best resolution, although, well, the 1080p resolution is basically the best we can get with the ultra-wide. But this is going to actually be the best experience you're able to get on this device, because the sensor on the back is the highest resolution, the best performer, and always given the best amount of love when it comes to processing. So this is, again, a pretty good example of what you should expect from the brand new Redmi. Again, 4K 30 is the best on the front, on the back, and at least if anything else, we're also looking at the fact that it's actually a mirrored experience. So you can shoot in the same resolution and crop in if you'd like to and not lose any quality. Now, keeping in mind that the Pro Max and the Pro both have stereo speakers, we're going to just do a quick comparison between the Pro Max and the Standard Edition. So the Standard Edition single firing speaker, both are going to be playing at 100% volume. Let's go ahead and put volume up all the way. And we'll give it a second there. And we do have audio boost here. As you can probably see here, it did say 400%. Let's go ahead and bring this down here. And I bring it up all the way to the top here. And it does say here 200% boost. So there's a boost effect put up on both. Again, the Pro and the Pro Max marry this as far as the experience. But let's go ahead and start off with the standard 17, playing 100% jumbo. And this is, again, the NCS release song.
Jack it up.
Now, single firing speaker, it is a little bit tinny. I probably will say that it's not one of the bassiest sounds, but it is single firing speaker. And if you're holding it in your hand, it actually does kind of almost bounce off your palm, and it does get a little bit louder. And the experience definitely is comparable to the price point that the 17 is coming in at. Let's go ahead and switch over to the 17 Pro Max. Again, stereo speakers, top mounted speaker here. So I'll go ahead and let it focus. And then we have the bottom one married at the bottom. And again, hitting it up. And again, this does hit up to a 400% boost.
Jack it up.
Night and day. Not even it almost feels like they're not even in the same ballpark. If you're looking for a budget experience at a very, very affordable price, I feel like the 17 hits that mark right out of the box. The 17 Pro Max and the 17 Pro are going to give you the best sound experience, a better camera experience, although you're getting 4K on the 17 Pro Max where you don't have that on the 17 Pro. But I will say from a sound experience, you're not going to be disappointed. Let's jump in real quick into Call of Duty Mobile. And one of the things to keep in mind, again, we have obviously the boost effect at the Game Center in there. You're able to jump in and see the different settings. The boost effect will get us up to 90 frames per second as far as gameplay. That's going to be the maximum we're able to get. At least in the current version of Call of Duty Mobile, there may be some optimizations done to get us a little bit higher. Gaming on this is not going to be disappointing. A large, beautiful display, massive battery, great stereo sound speaker. And it means basically we're going to be able to play games here for days almost. Not even just, I'm not going to say hours, I'm going to say days because it's a 10,000 milliampere battery. Again, at the end of the day, this is something that very few devices are even able to carry in a form factor that looks absolutely fantastic. And as you can see here, maximum resolution is going to be ultra and under low. 90 frames per second has been the maximum I've been able to get, but this should not be an issue as I'm sure with some software optimizations, we'll be able to get it up to 120. Redmi never disappoints when it comes down to bang for the buck experience. We're looking at three devices that even if you're going for the max version, you're still getting a really good experience at a very affordable price. The overall experience that we're getting here obviously steps up from the 17 to the Pro Max. You're going to get the best Note 17 when you go to the Pro Max with the 1.5K display, the 10,000 milliampere battery, the upgraded camera experience with 4K on the front and on the back. Again, you're getting a better experience as well as on the processor. I like the fact that they're across the board, all are running Qualcomm processors. We're not getting a mixture of experiences. We're just getting a step-up experience from base entry form. Again, we talked about the Snapdragon Gen 4 there, going into the 6S, and then obviously going into the standard 6. All three are designed to be basically power horses for an extended amount of usage. The processors on here are not the most powerful processors, but that's by design. So that means your device will not burn through the battery very fast. It'll last you at least 2 days with the Pro Max. The Pro should be able to do very similarly there. Again, battery's a little bit less, but you're going to get basically a great experience even if you go in with the standard model. I think there, basically, you just have to be accepting the fact that some of the compromises there is that single camera on the back. We don't have 4K. And of course, you do get the larger display. Technically, it's actually a better experience if you're looking for that. And it is 120 Hertz, but it's a full HD plus display, not a 1.5K. So again, there's a big step up there. And depending on the markets that they're in, you're not going to be disappointed. One of the things I wanted to share with you guys real quick as you're looking at some of these images is a few comparisons of similar shots taken by the main sensor on the back on the 17, 17 Pro, and 17 Pro Max. And you can definitely see some of the processing and the experiences as they're getting upgraded to the next level. So hopefully that sample gives you also somewhat of a comparison between the three and helps you decide if the 17 is the right one, is the Pro worth it for you, or is the Pro Max definitely the model that you want to go into to get the best experience from Redmi on a mobile device at the end of 2026. So of course the cameras, the rest of the images I'm sharing with you guys in the videos are taken with the 17 Pro Max, the main sensor on the back and the main front facing sensor, that 32 megapixel camera there. So with that being said, let me know in the comments below which one do you think is the winner? Which one is the right one for you if you're considering picking up a brand new Note 17 from Redmi and you want to be able to save some money but still get some really cool experiences. The designs are very nice. They are different, but they're definitely very much in family with what we expect from Redmi and from Xiaomi, because at the end of the day, these are at their core showcasing what they can do at this price point. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. And again, we'll talk in the next video.